And we are live. Thanks for joining us tonight. You have oh boy, I'm so nervous. Sorry. Can we start that over again?
Do you want to start again?
It's good. It's good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Researchers Report.
Oh, and we are live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining the Researchers Report. It's a Wednesday night here. It's a Blue Line Wednesday. I know it's Aaron Lewis, kids at home. It's been a while.
Seems like good.
But we're back here in the studio with Mr. Adam and Miss Daniela across the pond there. How are you tonight?
I'm good, thank you. No Kerry tonight. He's somewhere in New Mexico, I believe. And he's very sorry he can't be here, but hopefully he'll be here on Saturday. I believe we're going to do some narrations tonight. Have you got some there prepared?
We do, absolutely. We have narrations prepared. And I just wanted to say to everybody out there that's watching, or maybe people that will watch in a little bit, catch up if you're not watching live, just to say thanks for tuning in. It's important to everybody that people do. And it's important to not only me, but to other people too. I just made that up. It's off the cuff. Do a little freestyle. It's true.
We're without a net here, folks.
We're without a net. But it's been a while. Like Jake said, we haven't been doing much other than working and spending some time doing the holidays were extremely busy for both of us. It's good to be back on the show. I'm extremely excited about it. Jake, are you excited?
I got butterflies already, as you could tell.
Jake, it definitely has been a while. I'm out of my comfort zone.
It's been a while. It has been a while. It's been, before Christmas.
December 11th, we did Squatchathon, which honestly I thought was as good a success as we could have hoped for. We went well over the estimated margins we set ahead of time privately, and that was really good. And we couldn't have done it without everybody's help. And I know that there's people out there maybe wondering, waiting, saying, "Where's my stuff? I'm going to get my stuff." We have stickers that are coming. We don't know how many to order. We need to get this together, kind of wrap it up there. We have posters. We don't know how many to produce. So
you want the people who donated those amounts, the 25s and the 100s?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So for the stickers, 25 and above, send us the email. And for our sweethearts.
The sweethearts are the fundraiser.
I believe there are 4 sweethearts out there. One real big sweetheart. But anyway, you guys send us your email information.
Just a description about who you are and that you were there and what was going on with it. And then we'll get these things lickety split right out to you. I got to say, Daniela, I mean, Squatchathon was fun.
It was fun.
It was 4 hours. So we were like, can we do 4 hours? And we were like, yeah, we can. We'll make it happen. And we did. We
were going to go longer, weren't we? We were going to go longer originally.
I think originally we were going to go longer. I'm glad we worked out the 4 hours. It was good for me. It was just, I don't know. It was a blast. It was super fun. It was like I expected it to be, but it was so much better than what I expected. It really made me. I slept good that night. I was happy and proud to be part of the team that night. I tell you.
People were very generous that night.
They were.
It was good. It was good.
And then we were going right into the Christmas season there. Boy.
Snowball effect. A little busy.
Yeah.
It was a busy year. What's that I see behind you, Jake?
Huh?
What's that?
Oh, that little guy? Let's see. Well, it's a little thing we've been working on here in the it's something. It's just a little game we might play later.
A game, huh?
Well, I don't know. It's a Plinko board, obviously. It says Plinko. It's a board.
Plinko, it's a board. See, right to me here, it looks just like some kind of piece of art. I can't really tell.
Really?
What is it? So this thing has different pegs on it, does it?
Yeah, well, these are some little, I don't know what kind of penny nails they are, but they're evenly spaced on here at strategic locations. And
those are half pennies.
Are they half penny nails?
Half pennies, yeah.
Okay, so we got the 4 peaks that are native to where we are now, and we got the Squatch here, and then we got a little you know what this is over here? It's unidentified. And then we got a little Darwin fish over here. So we're like, what camp is it? We don't know. Is it the flesh and blood? Is it the woo factor? The alien? We don't know, guys, gals. We don't know.
Some people claim they know. Some people probably know. We don't.
So, but it's reminiscent of the Plinko board you see on the prices, right?
Yes, not to be confused with Plinko, folks.
Oh yeah, it's not.
This is
Plinko.
not. There's no copyright infringement here.
Yeah, make that clear. Make that clear.
Yeah,
to make that completely clear, this is Plinko.
Yeah,
folks.
absolutely.
And we don't use the same products and the production value. Now these down here, these are 1 5/8 inch drywall screws that I've put into the little lines that separate the categories at the bottom, where the Plinko was eventually. I mean, the Plinko.
Jake, would you call those channels down at the bottom?
I call those channels or
down there into the channels. So, should we?
But is this a game we can play later with the live chat? Is there like stickers to be won here or what? I didn't quite get the.
This is a different. This is a whole nother animal than the boggler. You're getting.
Okay, all right.
That was the boggler, yeah. Well, what is this?
Okay.
How does this work, Jake?
Well, see, what Adam came up with a good idea to move forward with the game theory and step it into a different, more of a personal level. And so at the bottom, instead of questions, it would be people. And it would be you or Carrie or me or Adam. And we'd have us randomly at the bottom. And then whoever landed in a certain question would be asked that person. It'd be kind of like a truth or dare, only it would be real life.
Yeah.
And
interaction from the crowd.
Yeah. So
basically the first question that comes through for either all four of us, we would have to, I mean, it has to be within reason, folks. You can't put these questions out there like some stuff we don't really want, we're not going to want to answer. Make some sense of these questions. Yeah. And we'll answer them if it's a reasonable question.
If it's real.
So that was the idea behind that. Little Plinko. Don't blink. You just might miss it.
Or the chips.
Exactly. Well, listen, should we get into an encounter?
We probably should.
I would love to. And that's what we're here for, essentially, is to give some scary true stories about Bigfoot encounters to everybody, read them aloud so we can have a little story time here.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first with one?
We can, yeah.
Okay.
Now, Jake, how are we going to figure out who goes first?
Oh, well,
we'll take this. We'll take this thing.
Rochambeau.
Red.
Oh, I'm going to have to read it high on the spot.
Red is up. You're red.
All right.
I'm black. Okay, here we go.
I may as well just get ready.
Hey, he said, red is the day is live.
Oh, come on.
Boom.
Are you
These
kidding
are
me?
This Max book is actually BLB colors.
Is Rick out there? This thing is rigged.
BLB
this thing
colors.
is totally rigged.
Definitely rigged.
BLB colors, Jake.
I'm just smelling this paper. It smells like it came from a Ticonderoga
it's
mill.
Organic, Jake.
It's an organic Ticonderoga mill.
It's organic.
Okay, guys, sorry. I'm awful nervous. All right, here we go. This is from Grant County, John Day, Oregon. Is that the name of the dude, John Day? Or is that like the name of the town?
It seems like John Day is the name of the town. I mean, it seems like it.
Grant County,
town.
John Day.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know what it is.
Guys. All right.
I have no idea.
So anyway, it's out there. If you look it up on the Digilator, you'll probably find it. Okay. I have a very interesting sighting. Well, 3 sightings or events that took place over time near John Day, Oregon. See, all I had to do is
there you go.
Well, we all know none of us have read this before, so we're doing our homework.
That's why I didn't know.
Well, you see, thing of it is, the encounters took place on 3 separate consecutive archery hunting trips, but all in the very same camp. Myself and one other friend witnessed the first experience. The 2 of us and my fiance, the second, and a group of 6 of us, the third. Are you kidding me?
And a group of 6 of us, the third. I don't understand.
Well, you know how 7/8 of the third is pretty near a quarter? It's kind of nothing like that. Only he's saying there was a group of 6 of them in the third encounter. You had 3 different encounters.
In the third encounter.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I like numbers. So We got some pictures of footprints after the second encounter, which culminated in an actual sighting of a large, dark animal jumping out of a creek bed a mere 10 feet from my friend. Startled. They were startled, okay?
I've been startled.
Startled. My friend fired a handgun at the creature as it ran past him into the adjacent hillside. Shoot first and ask questions later. We then tracked the animal using a high-powered spotlight as it loped across the hill. It loped, huh? It's some startled and loped. Okay, kids at home.
You've never loped?
Well, I got to think back. No. The tracks were cut off at the arch of the foot because the creature stepped on a limb, but the front part of the foot was about 11 inches long and 8 inches wide. The first encounter was merely a series of very strange, high-pitched yells, very much like the recordings taken by the patrolman in Washington a few years ago. The last encounter involved a large animal repeatedly retrieving a deer carcass from a nearby tree. What?
Repeatedly?
Yeah, retrieving a deer carcass from a nearby tree. Yeah, an animal repeatedly retrieving.
I don't know about that.
Well, see, someone kept putting a deer up there. There must have been a gut pile. He kept throwing deer in the same tree, must be, and like a feeding the Squatch. Maybe you feed the stray dog in the back. You always put it in the same spot. I don't know. Guys, we don't know.
I wonder how many deer that thing got from them guys. Out there doing all the hard work for the Squatch, feeding it.
I don't know. Let's read on and maybe we can find out if it's later in the paragraph. This is probably the first sentence.
I'll make the same mistake twice, huh?
Well, we'll be the judge of that.
Yeah, let's go.
The last encounter involved a large animal repeatedly retrieving a deer carcass from a nearby tree, despite our efforts to scare off the animal. Okay, that's where it ends. Sorry about the
sorry, that was
different vernacular or different emphasis on the wrong syllable. I kind of
emphasis, Jake. It's called emphasis.
Emphasis. Sorry, the emphasis on the wrong syllable. The last time that the thing took the carcass down from the tree, it methodically peeled away all the meat around the ribs, leaving no claw or scratch marks on the surrounding flesh. This guy's got to be some kind of
he's a
biologist, surgeon. He's like, anyway, since then, I have talked to others who have had sightings in the same area. There's a support group out there, must be in Oregon.
Or it's just there's a lot of encounters. It's a hot spot.
Yeah. Okay, well, he's talked to others. Okay. One of them in broad daylight. Well, geez Louise, I hope so. This lady and I got on the subject of camping in Strawberry Wilderness when she surprisingly asked me if I had ever seen anything strange in the area. I told her that I had and asked her what she was getting at. She told me that a big, upright bear ran through their camp in broad daylight, then told me that she knew it wasn't a bear at all, that it was a Sasquatch.
Oh, man.
A guy that I used to work with told me. My second cousin brother's Larry's sister-in-law's tire repairman's lawnmower repairman's Bill told me a story about an encounter at their archery camp way up in the wilderness.
These guys like to shoot a lot of bow.
I'm telling you, up there, it's like they're real Renaissance men up there. You know what I mean?
There's something with why are there so many bow hunters there?
Because when the stuff goes down,
you do hear about that Polites, the 411. He talks that he's got so much to do with the bow hunter. The bow hunter has so many encounters with things like this more than anybody else, and he doesn't exactly know why. But he says they're oftentimes bow hunters in particular, not riflemen.
Yeah, it's
We're not talking about guys out there shooting with shotguns. We're talking a little bit of this action.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting. I'm sorry.
Well, maybe it's because they're out there in the woods longer. The bow season may be a little bit before and a little bit after regular rifle, or is it? I know it's a little bit before. So if they can hunt a little bit before the rifle ticks off, then it does make kind of sense. The bow hunter's going to be out in the woods a lot longer, and
Possible.
yeah, that's the one the Sasquatch is going to know anyway.
I'm interested in finding out more about that, though. That's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah. So
statistic.
All right. So anyway,
I don't know if you remember the first episode documentary Kerry did. Those guys they were talking to. That is actually my favorite one of his. But
Classic.
They were skinning and they were gutting deers, and they'd move that pile of guts.
Yeah.
And the next thing, it had gone. It had all gone. So
yeah,
they're watching. They must be, or they may be looking at hunters, watching them, and I wonder how many hunters kill something and never find the body of what they've killed.
Happens all the time. Just think about
they lose a trail.
How many of those are due to like Squatch? I mean, if you think about it, it just makes it an easier target for them to get food easier. And these things know the woods so well, in every square inch of their environment. They know how not to be seen. They know how to probably interact with the hunters, know what's going on, and pay attention to the way that the animal is reacting to whatever way it was shot. Sometimes they're shot, direct kill. They hump up and boom, they're done right on the ground. And other times they get grazed in a way where they can run for miles and hours and hours. So maybe something in the middle of that is where Squatch says, hey, this thing's going to take a little walk, but it's coming with me at the end. When I get out of sight around the corner of this next rise.
Mine.
See ya.
This is a good point. Maybe because bow hunters are stalking and are more silent and surprise the Squatch.
Oh, yeah. They probably don't like being snuck up on.
That's a good point. Point. I like that. That's at least something. I've had nothing. I have zero.
And there's
goose egg.
That time that Tubby Russell was hunting with, Kevin? Was it Nate Russell and Tubby? And all of them were on a drive on 11th Mountain.
11th Mountain,
yeah. And a bear, he stepped on like some roots around a tree that a bear had dug in there, hibernating for the winter.
Yeah. He said
he was just walking. What did he say?
He said, "You ain't gonna believe this,
dude." That
was on the paper.
That bear reached out there and grabbed his foot, and he just spun around. Boom,
spun around. Boom, right there, and the bear's done. Now, oddly enough, the backs that same mountain. Me and Jake used to live at the foot of it. And we did one night. Jake wasn't there the night we did it, but we did a nighttime snowshoe adventure. And we were up there in March and had a ton of snow that year. We had a big blazing campfire going. We were playing some techno music. We were young and, listening to some cool stuff. And all of a sudden we start hearing this noise over the radio. And it sounded different than the music. And I was like kind of sitting there looking at my friend across the fire. He looked back at me and I was like, "Did you hear that?" He's like, "I heard something."
Did you hear that?
And we start to turn the music down, and there was this noise, like a noise, and it was like a mama bear waking up with her two cubs in this den just outside of where our fire was. It was right there. It was something else. It was scary.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Very interesting. We had a long walk back home from there in the middle of this. There was
Sacagawea Trail.
No, it wasn't Sacagawea. It was up the north end of. You had never gone there with us. It was something you're not supposed to go underneath that one gate.
Oh yeah, nice.
Poached.
Yeah, a little poaching. It's not bad,
But that's just a different story anyway.
Yeah. Well, I've got an encounter here.
Jake, did you finish that one?
I don't believe so.
Why don't you finish that one?
I've got just a little bit left.
Sorry, I didn't thought you'd finished.
We got talking. We got talking.
We get carried away sometimes.
Certainly did.
Okay, so just to recap. A guy that I used to work with told me a story about the encounter at their archery camp way up in there. A Sasquatch repeatedly bothered their horses and hung around the camp every night for over a week. Eventually, the horses panicked and ran off in the middle of the night, leaving the two men 10 miles in What? With their whole camp. The Sasquatch circled their tent the following night, tapping the sides of the canvas as it walked. The two men left the next day, abandoning their camp and never returning to the area after hunting there for over 10 years.
I don't blame them.
Mm.
That encounter story on the whole, I really liked it. It was pretty well written. It was easy to comprehend.
Mm.
Pretty easy for you to read. Some of these things come out. So kudos to these people here who sent this in. If you're watching, thank you.
Appreciate it. Man, I was way more.
It's a cool
nervous.
story too.
It was a good one.
Yeah, very good.
It was a good one.
I'm nervous.
So
Speaking.
I've got one, and it's actually from someone who's in the chat tonight.
Oh yeah,
And they're actually in the chat, and it's Fishing with Fredo.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope you don't mind that I'm reading your encounter out. I know you sent it to Kerry. Fishing with Fredo. So it starts with, I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get my encounters to you, but I think I'm finally ready to just let it all out. And I hope you did feel some relief of putting it down on paper, or at least sharing it, you know. So I honestly think the first time I saw Sasquatch, I thought it was a bear. I grew up in a small town of Seguin, Texas, in between New Braunfels and San Marcos. So I'm sorry if I'm not saying those places right. I was riding with the family down a back road between McQueenie, Texas, and heading into Seguin. We were passing in between some old houses when I saw something huge rummaging through cans or something, and I yelled at my dad to stop because I saw a bear. His response was, "We don't have any bears here, dummy." Of course, he was right. We did not have any bears in South Texas. That I knew of. It was a very brief look at the creature, but the sheer size really stayed in my mind. I am thinking I was around 12 at the time, but not 100%. I believe that was 1984 or 85. Many years later, in 2003, I was working in the oil fields of the Rocky Mountains and living in Vernal, Utah at the time. My crew and I had a job on the other side of Evansville, Wyoming. I remember when I got to the location that the whole layout of the area was very strange, and I had not seen this kind of terrain before. And by that time, I'd been all over the Rockies between Utah and North Dakota. To me, there was something very unique about how the whole layout of that place. And you put, Kerry, I know you know about those rough oil field roads up there, and this road was as bad as it got as far as being rough. We had to really go around 10 miles an hour in order to make it out of there without tearing up our crane and logging and perforating trucks. It was myself, my helper, and the engineer. We went in early in the morning and had breakfast, then hit the location. It took a good 2.5 hours to get there because of the roads and bad directions. It was a long job, and by the time we were through it, it was around midnight or so. We were making our way back out and trying to get to the main highway. The engineer was driving the company pickup in the front, and I was in the middle in the logging and the perforating truck, and my helper was behind me in the crane truck. We had all two-way radios for communication. I remember driving through an area that was very weird looking to me. On our left was an open field. About 400 yards on our right side was half open field, and then a forest lined up against the small mountains behind it. Like I said, to me, this was very strange, but maybe it was because I was not from around there and was from Texas, which of course I was teased about from the locals. They used to call me the Flatlander. I thought it was just me seeing things, but I could have sworn I was seeing shadows moving in between the trees. So I scoffed it off to the shadows being created by the headlights via the trees. Then my buddy behind me yells into the radio, "Are you seeing this crap? There's a bunch of figures in the trees moving back and forth very fast." So I looked a little closer and I could see figures moving very fast in between the trees that I knew could not have been from the headlights hitting on the side of the trees. Also, these shadows were very tall and wide. A few looked like they were hunched over. The engineer told us to calm down. He kept saying that it was just shadows moving with the headlights. My helper got creeped out and was trying to push me to go faster, as he was in the last in line and was feeling very panicked and vulnerable. I told him to chill out and calm down, and that we would make it out just fine, as we could not push our trucks too hard, otherwise we would be in worse trouble if we got one of us stranded there. We finally made it out of there, and my helper and I talked about it later, but the engineer refused to even hear anything. He just walked away from the conversation. Later that year, I believed it was around summertime because it felt a very perfect night. We had travelled to what I believed was Pleasant View, Utah, for a job. Again, we had to go there early in the morning, and the time it was done, it was around 10 or 11 at night. The crew took off without me, and I would just catch up with them later, and of course it would be monitoring me on the two-way radios. I was making my way down from the mountain around 1 a.m. and getting into Vernal, Utah, when I saw this huge, tall thing cross the highway in about 3 steps. I was driving a logging and perforating truck, which is a cab over what is the cab is over the engine, and this very tall thing's head and shoulders were about half of the windshield tall. I kept saying, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I really felt like my mind was going to crack. But at the time, I was coming down the mountain, and it is against the law to use your jake brakes when you are coming into a residential area. I was downshifting my rig at the time, and I think me concentrating on the gears is what kept my brain intact, but I still felt like my mind just got blown away. It was a very shocking experience that lasted maybe 3 or 4 seconds. I kept telling myself it was a tall, hairy basketball player. My mind was scrambling to try and fit this thing into a box of what it should be. I'm actually feeling some anxiety and shaky while I'm typing this. As far as descriptions, I did not get to see the face, which is probably a good thing. I saw the body, and that was just as nerve-wracking. Shoulders had to be 3 or 4 foot wide, and I know he was at least 8 foot tall. I say he because I did not feel it was a female. From what the lights of my truck showed, it was covered in hair and colour was dark brown, almost black. As I drove past the area it crossed, left to right, I kept looking on the side of the road but saw nothing. I drove through town and got back to the company garage and parked the truck. I went inside, and my engineer that I'd been working with that day was still there writing down paperwork. I looked at him and told him what I saw, and I will never forget the strange reaction I got from him. It was so strange I had to threaten him with violence if he did not stop. When I told him about the Sasquatch I had seen, he told me I was crazy and it was not what I thought it was, what I saw, and it was probably a bear, of course. He was telling me these things in a very mean and belittling way when he had never talked to me like that before. So I got on his face and I told him to sort of calm down. I knew that comment came from me being stressed about what I'd seen. He told me not to bring it up again, and I didn't. At the time, I was going through a bad marriage, and it was put in the back of my mind because I had a lot of things on my plate. I told my wife about it, the encounter, and also her family, and they told me it might have been a skinwalker, as they believe they are very real in that part of the state. Years later, I reflected back on the experience, and I came to the conclusion that the engineer who remembered is a big hunter and probably did not want to get shaken and ruin his hobby that he loved so much. That is all I can think of for his reaction. So that's quite a scary one when you've got one crossing the road right in front of you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sending that in. I appreciate you sending that one in to us.
And the second one,
Thank you.
They're jumping through the trees. Is it? That's only one encounter. I thought there was like 2.
There's 2, yeah. There's
Yeah.
You know,
one hid, but the one with the shadows, the things moving through the trees.
Yeah.
You know when you can see something, don't you? And it's not just shadows.
Oh yeah.
And you're saying, how am I going to get out of this alive? I'm not going to get out of this alive.
It's like this feels like a movie, but am I dreaming? What's going on here? Like this isn't supposed to happen
Yeah.
at all. But it is. It's happening right now. I can't imagine that, man. Whoa. Talk about.
And you have so little time to process it. There's no surprise in that it takes people so long just to even make sense of.
You can't make sense, obviously. I mean, even I'm picturing myself even being interested in the subject. I've never had a direct sighting, but even though like I've researched the subject and I'm very interested in it, and I've heard and believe that they're real and heard them and smelled them and everything, talked to people who have seen them. Still, myself, I think if I was ever going to have an encounter, no matter what it was, my brain would be slowing things right down like everybody else, trying to process what the hell is going on, coming up with things like hairy basketball player anyway, even though I've been looking, we're searching for the creature. We want to know if they're, we want to, whatever. We're interested in like anybody else watching this show. And, but it's still, I think if I had a direct sighting, I would be questioning in my mind, what am I looking at? What am I looking at right now? Even though it's obvious that it's a Squatch, my brain would.
It's just a natural thing to do. Try and make sense of it.
I think so. It's insane. I mean, the encounter stories we hear around here, some of which are, people let us divulge the story, and some of them they just want to tell us the story and have us not do anything with it at all. And that's okay. It's happened quite a bit. And just the way that these people describe what happens to them in their encounter stories, they're all different. They're all different settings. And some of them are when people are out walking around, or some of them are when they're hunting. Some of them are when they're just driving their car or
pouring a cup of coffee in the kitchen.
Yep. Just all sorts of different ways people see these things. And it's just always bizarre to hear their reaction and the way that they describe it, because you can tell they're not lying. They're telling you the truth. And they just have the way that they tell the encounter is just, I don't know. It's neat.
It's the odd detail, isn't it? That's that they say. And
the detail and the emotion.
And you do relive it with them. They're reliving it, and you can feel them reliving it. When it's real, when it's not, you can
feel the emotion with them as they're telling the story. Oftentimes they tell us how they were feeling too. They go into describing how they were feeling at the time, and just then their eyes get about that big as the more they get into it. Their eyes are like this big as they're telling us these things.
And well up down here.
Their eyes are like as wide open as they can get. And I swear that I saw it. And their eyes are like, I'm like, dude, this guy's telling the truth, or just complete psychopath. But I know these people aren't psychopaths. They're not.
Yeah.
They're just old Adirondack rednecks like the rest of us. They're not. They don't need to be locked up. There's nothing wrong with them. They saw Squatch.
Yeah. That's how it is.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
And that's what a majority of people coming here are dealing with, is this questions in their heads, how do you deal with it? How do you make sense of it? So well, do you want to go into the next one, Adam?
Well, I don't know. We should probably. Do you have those Plinko coins?
I don't have.
Oh yeah.
We should probably. Oh well.
I don't have them. Where'd they go?
They might be down on the counter still.
I'll talk with Daniela. Jake, take your time. Take your time.
Let me run down.
Yeah. Don't rush.
So Jake, he puts in a lot of work into these side projects, and we all, very grateful for his creativity and for the dedication and hours of time he spends doing this out of his free time. He doesn't have much free time. He just goes at it anyway. Seems to get it done somehow magically. I don't know how he does it. I'm a little more selfish with my time, but that's okay. So this Plinko, it's a great idea. Wait till you see it in action. You guys are gonna love it.
Can't wait.
Find them?
Shoot, yeah, I did.
You did.
Yeah. Okay.
Should we turn the center light on, Jake?
Well, okay, guys.
Or maybe will this work?
Gals and guys, you got
it. There we go. It's lit up.
So what are we gonna do? I mean, we don't know who they're gonna land on. We say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
The farthest left is Danielle, or you, and then me,
no.
And then Danielle on the right. Danielle in the middle.
Here's how we're gonna do it. 2 in the middle are Daniela. Right outside are Adam. Then there's me, and then these 2 are safeties. and you get to do it again. So Daniela's in the middle, Adam's on both sides, and I'm on the wings.
You're never going to get called.
Oh, no. Mine comes up 2/3 of the time. Now, we have to pick.
You're on the wings.
You guys at home.
Mine's going to get called every time.
You have to say, what letter should I start drop the thing over with? Oh, sugar. All right, here we go. Guys, without a net, come on.
I.
Okay, we're going to start off over to I.
What's the point of the game? Sorry.
Oh, you're going to find out, Daniela.
Okay, right. All right.
Everyone else will find out as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
Oh, no. Oh, came down to Daniela's butt. Just so you guys didn't see it.
Yeah, there. You drop her lower.
Here's how he did it.
This is action replay.
Me.
Adam.
I told you it would be me. So I don't like that. We got to set it up different. I don't like that.
Okay, hold on. Let's do it I wanted it to be tilted a little bit more.
Why don't we do Adam, Jake, Daniela, Adam, Jake, Daniela.
Adam, Jake, Daniela, Adam, Jake, Daniela. What's that?
Safety. Safety.
It's rigged. Everyone's saying it's rigged.
Oh, it is rigged. Okay, here we go. Here's the one.
Boy, it's really falling
Right
fast.
here.
I think it's
Look
too much of a pitch.
Yeah, let's. Oh, here we go, guys. Look, listen.
Oh!
Daniela! All right, here we go.
So,
Truth or dare question from the BLB Galaxy. You can look in the live chat and pick one at your discretion. I don't know. How does this work?
yeah, pick one at discretion.
Pick what? We don't even know what.
Someone's going to have to chime in the live chat and ask a question that you need to
truth
answer.
or dare question. What's that?
Truth or dare? Can't we just get the bottle
I'm
back?
sorry. No, it's not a truth or dare question.
Truth.
We said
Just a
earlier that they could ask a question, not unlike truth or dare, but just something,
All right, okay. Someone in the chat has to ask a question.
Yeah.
To
yeah.
me?
To you.
To
Yeah.
you. That's not Sasquatch related.
It can be
Any question.
any question within reason.
Your favorite color.
People within reason.
And nothing weird.
Nothing weird. Okay.
Okay, nothing weird.
Okay.
Although.
But nobody wants to know anything.
Nobody wants to know anything.
Should we go on to the next person?
Yeah, let's do this then. Okay, we'll say this. Daniela, do you think
what?
I do think, a lot.
Okay, well, question answered.
There you go. Done. Hey, you answered that question with flying colors. And for that, you get a gold star.
Fantastic.
A mental gold star, and you can cash it in at any time.
Excellent.
I feel kind of, I can't lie. I feel kind of
underprepared.
What? Stuck. The thing's rigged. Look at it. There's a magnet on the back.
It's rigged. We got magnetic properties, electromagnetic properties.
Oh, another one for Danielle. Okay.
All right, guys.
Guys, buckle in.
We're going to try to get everybody's minds away from the Plinko board.
Shenanigans.
Right. The shenanigans. Just for a moment. We'll be back to it. Jake, we're going to jump back to it.
Sorry about the
No, we're going to jump right back, Jake.
Sorry.
Hang on. Someone did ask a question. I think Kathy. How wasted were you on New Year's Eve?
Good question.
Well, everyone would like to know, so spill the beans.
Spill the beans.
I wasn't.
There you go. Question answered.
Done deal. Good result.
And either were me and Jake.
Nope. I had to teach Sunday school the next day.
I had to work next day. Open up shop early. First thing.
All right, then.
We're all professionals here.
Yeah.
We don't celebrate.
Substitute teachers.
Okay, guys. Anybody ready for another encounter story? Jake?
Show hands.
Jake's ready. Danielle, you ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Really? Okay. Well, I'll jump right into it then. Ah,
Wait, hold on.
got something right there.
Hold on, ready? And
Here we go. Got something right there. Thank you for considering my encounter story for your lovely little show. My name is Rich Varney, and I'm 53 years old. The story you're about to hear is 100% real, although many or most of the people I've told it to simply don't believe it. This all happened in the southwestern portion of Pennsylvania in 1992, but I remember the actual sighting like it was yesterday. In fact, I still have nightmares about it sometimes. And you might see why once you hear what happened. So relax and enjoy. Again, this happened in PA. I was somewhere in Allegheny County.
ow.
Me and some friends headed out one early summer morning to do some fishing in one of the nearby ponds, close to where my buddy's dad's ex-wife lived. Although we all knew they were still seeing each other on the side. Not an uncommon occurrence down there in Allegheny County. Anyway, we headed out early enough that the pond was still totally covered with fog from the cool evening before. But we knew it would burn off quickly once the sun hit it. And that day was forecast to be a scorcher. And it was. There were 3 of us in the 12-foot John boat, so we didn't have a lot of room, but enough for our gear and a cooler with some food and beer. This was not a big pond by any means,
What's a John?
but it was decent sized, and the fish in it were pretty good sized too. The pond itself was a little over a quarter mile off the main road on a little 2-track drive. Nobody but us ever seemed to go there, or so we thought. There were no houses or buildings around this pond, and it was usually a pretty peaceful place to go fish, or just paddle around and collect your thoughts for an hour or so, which was something I often did. This place was pretty great. My friend Bernard decided he'd be first to paddle us around, while me and Turner did the fishing for the first hour or so, which was nice of him. I caught 3 keepers in the first 25 minutes.
Wow.
But I got a ton of snags, see, because we could hardly see our hands in front of our faces. Pea soup, I think they call it,
What?
when it gets that thick. The fog, that is. I had Bernie row us over to the shore so we could cast out into the pond. This way, we wouldn't get hung up as much, and it worked. We sat there for a good hour catching up and casting lines, although this spot didn't land us many lunkers, if you know what I mean. Turner was taking some vacation time from work and decided it was beer 30.
What?
Although it was just past 6 a.m., but I didn't mind. As he reached down below the food in the cooler for his first frosty beverage of the day, it happened. It happened, Jake.
He threw up.
I don't know. Let's read on.
Oh, what? Wait, can we just say for the people who may not know what a John boat is?
John
you know?
boat.
Yeah, a John boat is like a
Didn't
rowboat.
we go out gigging in one of those?
Yeah, we went gigging in a John boat, but
We
a
were out
John
gigging.
boat was just a regular old rowboat. You know,
Aluminum.
aluminum
rowboat.
rowboat. You know, that's why he said he was rowing. That's what a John boat is. In case you're wondering.
Good,
Okay,
Jake.
go
Good.
ahead.
I'm glad you cleared that up for the folks
For
at home.
For all 4 of you are wondering, what the heck is a John boat?
Yeah. Is it like a tuna boat?
I mean, why isn't it a Nancy boat?
Well, that's a good question there.
That's a good question.
Okay, so let's recap here quick. As he reached down below the food in the cooler for his first frosty beverage of the day, it happened. The first howl. This noise was loud. We could feel the aluminum boat vibrate with every blood-curdling, echoing scream/howl. To me, this thing sounded like a werewolf gargling salt water. It was loud and raspy and all gurgly at the same time. But if I had to describe it with just one word, it would be terrifying. The first time this thing went off like it did, we all just sat there, frozen in perfect silence, staring at each other. I can picture that. Turner had something on his line, bending his pole like nothing I've ever seen, but he didn't flinch for it. We all just sat there. Then it roared again and again. We could tell whatever it was getting closer, too. But we couldn't hear it moving through the woods or the bog as it did.
How'd it get so cold?
Just after the third howl, Bernie yelled out, "Hold on!" And he started trying his best to move us away from shore. We were hung up on some old logs and rocks, it seemed. As we all started panicking to free up the boat, it seemed like it was just getting stuck even worse, which that seems like a horror movie scenario. Everything was in slow motion. That's funny. Everything was in slow motion. I was just going to say, I bet everything was in slow motion. Everything was in slow motion. This pond was notorious for its leeches. But at this point, I didn't care.
Ooh.
So I jumped in and started lifting on the hull.
Ooh.
Then it happened. And then it happened, Jake. I think
The second howl.
history is repeating itself. Then it happened. What happened, though? What happened? Take a guess, Jake.
Second howl?
I'm not going to guess second howl. That's what I'm thinking it is, too.
Stand by me, leeches all over everybody?
Ow. Okay. Whatever this was right next to us now. You could hear it breathing just deep enough into the fog where we still couldn't see it. But what threw me off was that it made absolutely no noise that I heard as it advanced. It was just seeming to float closer and closer to us. So now I'm in the water. This thing is breathing heavy like it wants to eat all three of us, and I can't move. I'm frozen in fear,
I'm out.
staring into the dense fog.
No, just kidding.
An image started emerging from the soupy substance, just a little, and it was huge and dark, and from what I could tell, hairy. It appeared to be hunched over, standing upright like a man, and then it rose up and gave us one last haunting howl, waving its arms above its head in a panic as it did so.
Like orangutan.
That's what I'm guessing. I like that, Jake.
Ugh.
This thing must have been 10 feet tall.
What?
The last scream woke me from my paralyzed gaze, and I shoved off and jumped into the boat, boots covered in sludge. Bernard rowed like a gosh darn champion, and we got to the other side of the pond, and what I think must have been some kind of record. A chipmunk could have wakeboarded behind us. We were moving so quickly. We got to shore, jumped out of the boat, and ran up to the car. All three of us piled in, and I drove us back to my house, where we yelled out what had just happened to us about 1,000,000 times.
Did you see that thing?
Oh my God, it was this. But I know it was that.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, what do we do? What do we do? That's what I'm picturing.
Yeah, I mean, what could you say at that time?
I don't know, Jake. It did indeed get very hot and sunny that day, though. So around 2 o'clock, we all went back down to get our stuff and pick up the boat, being very careful as we approached. My friend bought his sidearm, and I brought my special shotgun for backup. When we got down to the shoreline, there it was, our boat and all our gear strewn all over the place. Everything in the cooler was spread everywhere. Our fishing poles were broken. Our tackle was scattered and thrown all around. But what pissed me off the most was that this darn thing, whatever it was, put a wicked dent in the side of my boat. It looked like a monster truck just came up along and rolled onto the side of it. We were still pretty shook up. So we got our stuff and got the heck out of there. We said we'd never tell anybody about this because we thought they'd think we were crazy. But like clockwork, all of us did, and the ridicule started flowing in. We since haven't said much about this weird morning we had until now. I thought you might like this story. I love the show. Keep up the good work. And stay safe. Rich.
Mm.
Rich.
Rich.
I can't even imagine something being 10 foot.
10, are you kidding me?
I mean,
That's
I
a
was
lot.
reading that story myself, Daniela, and I was reading it myself, and I'm trying to do a good job reading it, but I was still getting goosebumps like almost the whole entire time once it got going there.
Sounds
Like, whew!
sounds like a giant.
Yeah,
Sounds giant. Yeah, sounds like a giant. Sounds scary.
definitely. Like I say, even something at 8 foot, that's huge.
8 foot's huge. 7 foot's big. 7 foot's noticeably big. There's no 7 foot people anywhere that I've seen besides going to like an NBA game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7 foot people just aren't around.
5'7" is big
And
to
just
me.
think about an 8 foot person.
Mm. Yeah, even that.
Think about being next to an 8 foot person. Like most ceilings, standard, a lot of them in the US are 8
8
foot.
feet.
But unbelievable. 10. Imagine that. 10 foot. And there's stories. 10 foot isn't out of the question for these things. They get to 10 feet.
Mm.
That's insane.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. I can't imagine.
I can't imagine either. That's why I was saying before when you were talking about people and the way that they explain their encounter stories and stuff, and like we were saying, like I would be seeing something like that, my mind would just be blown. It'd probably like melt down. If I saw like a 10 foot one, my brain would probably just melt down. I'd just die.
No,
Yeah.
no, you come back from it.
Jake.
Probably after they put that machine on you that goes clear.
Oh, yeah.
Clear.
Well, if they had
They give you we carry adrenaline shot. I would have to be the one to pierce your rib
You're
cage.
Pulp Fiction, man.
Yeah, I gotta go right through your rib cage as hard as I can, like a vampire slayer. Only it'll be to save your life.
Wow.
Yeah.
It'll be to save
If
your
you
life.
had to do it,
That's the only way. And you do the same for me.
I
I'm
would.
just
Jake,
saying.
I would.
Not with the EpiPen though. Don't hit me in the jugular.
No, you don't want that. Listen, should we try and squeeze another one in?
Why not?
Pourquoi pas?
One more story. We've got time, I think.
I mean, are you?
I mean, we could do that,
Are
or
you-
we could
are you stepping out?
just shoot the breeze.
Why don't we have another go on the Plinko?
Well, I feel kind of.
Want me to try it?
I think I let you guys down.
You didn't let you go.
We didn't have very good success with the Plinko
I
board.
gotta go.
Tweaking a little bit.
First hand game. This.
Needs a little bit of tweaking, and I think
What?
I don't know. I think it might be technique. I want this to land right here. I'm just gonna go like this. Nope.
Rig.
What it needs is sides.
Right. Yeah, we talked about that, a border, but
Maybe a little shelf on the bottom.
due to time constraints.
Okay, we're gonna toss her in here and just see what happens.
Oh, ooh, another
I
safety.
like the sound of that though.
Say it does sound good,
It's like
though.
ding dong, ding ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, dong, dong. And here we go.
It's all natural. I think the sound. It's
Out. That was a good one. This is working better, folks. Boom!
that would have been who that me.
This is just fun. Anybody want to come try it? Oh, that one went right down.
That was Danielle. That's your question. What do you got?
there is no question.
What? There's no question.
Oh!
Yeah.
All right. Until we get this figured out, I'll take the next question. Till we get this figured out and we have like the pictures underneath here, because I think we should put the pictures of us in here.
Oh yeah,
That'd
no
be
doubt.
hilarious.
No doubt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I didn't have a printer.
Someone's realised what the problem is.
Gravity. Yeah, I've been working on defying the laws of gravity all day.
Yeah.
I believe I can fly.
Maybe we can work on that. I've got one more story here, and Mike, I'm sorry it's not yours. I do have it, but I don't have it printed out big enough for me to be able to read it without my glasses, which I can't find at the moment. So I've got a little short one here, and we'll definitely read it out the next time.
Sorry about that, Mike.
I'm sorry about that. I
Apologize.
wish I could find my glasses, but I've had to print these things really, really big. So this one is from, I've never heard of this, Inyo County, California. Inyo, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I do not know who to contact, but I have a story to tell. My name is John, and I am a 41-year-old vice president of a bank and have been harboring an encounter for 31 years secretly out of fear of ridicule and shame. But now that I've seen that other people have had similar situations, I must tell my story. During September 1972, I was hiking down from a lake with my dad and my friend on a fishing trip. We were at a place called Barney Lake out of Bishop, California, near the Plinko Pass, and we're on our way home. After a weekend of camping and fishing, we were backpacking out from this lake. I was the lead person. I had outpaced both my friend John and my dad by about 4 minutes without knowing, and I was moving quickly downhill. After about 10 to 40 minutes from the lake down, I can't remember after all these years, I came finally to a clearing. It was a small, flat, grassy meadow from all the trees that I'd been seeing downhill till then. I took a break from my fast strides to rest and looked out over the meadow. The first thing I saw was a big white rock boulder near the end of the meadow, and there was maybe 20 yards or 30 yards of grass here. At the point of the clearing to my left, I heard extreme thrashing going on. I looked to my left to see a huge animal bent over with its rear end facing me. It was only about 12 feet away from me. I saw that it was hairy and had a reddish, orange-brown, multicolour mixed hair to it. The most different thing was a rear end that was bare like a monkey.
Or a squirrel?
I knew this.
Or a squirrel?
Eh? Or a squirrel, yeah.
No.
No, a monkey. I knew this because during this time in my life, I spent all my lunch hours in the library reading about zoology and marine biology. I thought this was very strange at first, as no bear can bend over like this at the waist and have skin over the rear area. In my fear, I was frozen and shocked and bewildered at the same time. I'd never known or heard of Bigfoot or Sasquatch at this time in my life. At this point, it had only been about 5 or 6 seconds, and then the animal lifted up and stood. It was enormous. It must have been 8 foot tall or more, which to a 10-year-old is unreal. It had been scratching with its hands and grubbing and digging prior to looking for what I thought was food. Its back was to me, and when I saw it stand, I saw it was built in the same way us humans are, with a lot of hair. I knew this was no bear from my background. I also knew only black bears were seen as an almost extinct species here and would have been much smaller in height and stature. I got so scared I ran full pack or paced towards the big white rock, and I literally jumped over the rock, and when I landed, I snuggled up against the rock, so scared even to look in case the creature had heard me. Finally, after about 20 seconds or so, I peeked over the rock to see nothing and no one on the trail. Within 1 or 2 minutes, my dad and John came down the trail into the opening before I started to scream at them. I said, look out, in fear that the creature was still there and would do something. They froze bewildered and looked left and then to me in confusion. They stood at the clearing at the spot I was in. I finally came out and walked to them. I looked into the trees and the thick brush to see nothing but some broken brush and twigs and some hair there. We moved on finally, and I never spoke of this again except to my dad and a couple of close friends. 8 years later, I saw the Bigfoot movie and the Patterson video. Once I saw this, I knew without doubt this was what I saw. I still kept my story a secret out of fear, but the vision haunts me and will all my life. I know it was so real. I will never forget this, and I'll take it to my grave. I'm now someone who needs answers and must try and find out what this that this creature does exist, or I will not put my memory to rest. I know what I saw was no figment of my imagination. I want to seek it out.
Have him give us a call. We'll tell him what's up.
Yeah.
But are you kidding me?
That's serious. That's a serious side of an encounter story, though. That's a serious side of an encounter.
How many years before Patterson Gimlin? You know what they say? 6 or 7, 8 or 9, 10. You know.
Well, this was in 72. So when did the Patterson
58
footage come out?
It was 68. I thought October 68.
Well, it might have not been till he saw that, because I never saw the Patterson footage.
Oh, I got.
Till the 80s.
Oh,
it just
yeah.
came on the
I
telly.
still haven't seen it. I'm waiting for the right moment.
I'm
waiting until they come out with ultra HD on this.
Yeah,
one. It just seems like the right thing to do.
You know,
hold off.
Wait.
Wait.
Well, look, we are coming up to the end of the hour.
What? You're kicking us out already?
Already, yeah. I think it's time.
We've got a few things to go over already, don't we?
I have one.
I mean,
let's go over what we need to go over.
Well, tomorrow night, Thursday night, we're having a release of one of our season 2 episodes. We're up to episode number 6.
Oh yeah!
Wow!
It's going to be hitting at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time.
EST.
And we haven't had anything out there for a while. We've kind of been taking a break because of all the with the holidays and work and everything. It's just been kind of impossible. But we have a really good episode for you guys. Episode 6, season 2, episode 6, coming out tomorrow night on our channel, Blue Line Bigfoot. Yeah,
Excellent.
It's something else, guys. Really is, Jake, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I'd like to thank you guys down there for doing that subscribe thing. That's awful nice of you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Appreciate that,
Jake. I was watching as we were editing this together. You see that there's several times where we mentioned 2017. That's when we shot this.
That's footage.
But I mean, it brings you right back to when we were making this season and when we went out in the field and you watch the footage again. I mean, it's been years since I've watched it. A year and a half anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Felt live again.
It is something else. You guys are gonna dig it. You're gonna dig it.
Well, we hope that you will.
Yeah. And well, on Friday I'll be starting my new show. Hopefully.
What show?
Oh, my show on my channel, my new channel, which is called Hidden Existence.
I like that name.
Yeah. Well, I think it's all right.
Sick. What kind of topics are you going to cover over there?
We're going to be covering lots of things, lots of topics, not just Bigfoot, not just aliens or UFOs. We could be covering anything that is out there.
Show dogs?
Yeah.
No, they're out in existence.
What about longbeards? You going to cover longbeards on your...
Yeah, longbeards. Anything that's out there but kind of hidden, but not. Sometimes there's things there that we are right in front of us, but we don't, but it's hidden.
Yep.
And we also have, a hidden side to ourselves. I think we all have a,
If anybody knew the whole story, I wouldn't have any friends.
Exactly.
There's our social media soapbox platform selves that we have the image of ourselves we like
which
to
is
present to the world.
Too far from reality, by the way.
Which is spot on. What you see is what you get with a couple characters like us.
Yeah, we're not
nothing special. We're here, you guys and gals, you guys.
This show is excellent. I love the idea, Danielle. I love the idea. Now, is this going to be? Talk about what kind of guests are you going to be having on this show? I'm interested.
Well, my first guest is going to be Kerry.
Oh, nice.
That's
Mr.
a good way to start things off, huh?
Well,
definitely.
What kind of things are you going to cover? Or should
I don't want to give too much away.
No,
don't want to give too much away.
Spoilers too, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's excellent. Now, give us an example of maybe some other types of guests. Maybe you don't have to say who they are, but maybe some other types of guests.
Oh well, I've got
genres.
Some guests in Harney will be talking about the big cats in the UK. The black ones.
Yeah.
That are everybody. Not everybody, but there's a lot a lot of sightings about big cats in the UK, and
Yep.
an experience that I think I had could have been.
Yeah, I remember that. You told us about that.
A cat following me and growling. So, and we'll be covering all sorts. I can't really,
Gotcha.
you know,
It's kind of cool that you leave some of it to surprise too, because that gives people more of something. What are we gonna get this week? Now, is it gonna be? Are you gonna do once a week? Is that what it's gonna be?
for now, we're doing it once a week. Yeah, it's going to develop, and it's just warming up. You know, it's going to be.
Yeah.
Going to be. It's going to be a work in progress.
Kind of like the BLB. You know, we shot stuff 2015, launched 4 or 5 years later. You know,
almost 5 years later, we launched.
It wasn't anything.
You know, baby steps. That's how we took it. Baby steps. And I'll look at it.
And I know Kerry and Mark are putting out their podcast at some point.
Come on.
That's right. When's that?
I'm not sure, but when Kerry's on, he'll have a better idea. I'm not quite sure, but that's going to be coming up. And in an hour, everyone should head over to the Paranormal Portal. Check out Don and Brent. Brent and Don.
Daniela, tonight was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed myself, but I missed Carrie. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's fun having him around. I mean, it was fun. We had a good night, but Carrie, make it to the next one. We miss you. Yeah,
it's not the same without Kerry. So
we need
the next BLUELINE Wednesday. He'll be here. So look, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Come back on Friday. I'll see you on my channel if you all want to pop over there and sub so you can get a notification.
We'll see you in the chat.
Link is in the description. And then on Saturday night on the Researchers Report, we've got Tracy Arnold from Hiking with Sasquatch Outlaw.
Nice.
And we're getting an update of what's been going on with him. So thank you guys. Thanks everyone. Have a good night, everyone. Good night.
Night, guys. We love you.